we are recording. Okay, now I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, so this is just a super quick hangout. We're gonna talk all things that we heard at Super Weekend. It is January 13th. Our Super Weekend events, both mine and Amanda's, were yesterday on Saturday. Before we dive in, a little Success Club check-in. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I have got 14. Amanda is leading the other side of the board with 4, 1 away from hitting Success Club this month, and then 2s across the board. So we are just about halfway through January, so still plenty of time to push, and definitely be sharing more and more of Transform 20. With housekeeping, the Summit ticket special is on special right now. If you purchase your ticket from now until the 31st, there will be a referral packet or like a little point to put in who referred you. Obviously, put in me if I refer you because I'm your coach, but then we can start bouncing off, referring other people, so that once I get one referral in, then if somebody else signs up, they could then put Amanda's as their referral. And then because Nikki's going to Summit, then somebody could put Nikki as a referral, because if you refer somebody and put them in there, you get to do the brand new workout that's being released in January as a special kind of prize for that. So just let me know if you're going to be buying your ticket and who you should put as your referral. Transform 20 starts tomorrow. And then again, the 3-day refresh sale is still going on. All right, Super Weekend announcements. Okay, so if you have the ultimate, or if you have the Portion Fix containers, the ultimate Portion Fix is coming out. And basically it's just a more intense and in-depth way to use the portion control containers. It launches on March 4th to us coaches and on March 17th for customers. I think that the really cool thing about this is, I always love the Portion Fix containers and I use them when I really need to get back on track with my nutrition. But what I want to do as part of it is Autumn is going to be reshooting the 21-day fix and the 21-day fix extreme. And she's going to be doing them kind of live, and we'll get to do them with her because they are a little bit of dated programs, but they're amazing programs. So I'm kind of intrigued to do it live again with her. So if you buy the Ultimate Portion Fix, and I haven't checked out prices yet, but I'm sure it's in the coach office, that there might be the price up right now. The big thing is a new program. It is with Jericho. If you don't know Jericho, she was the co-creator of Core de Force with Joel. So Joel, the one that you know from Lift 4. So Jericho has created the Morning Meltdown 100, MM100. It's going to be launched right after Summit. The workouts will be between 20 and 30 minutes every morning, 100 workouts. So it's that idea of completing 100 and crossing off day 100. I posted a little sneak peek, the little promo video in our team page. So if you haven't watched that yet, go check it out. It looks like it's gonna be fun. All the promo videos are always cheesy as hell, and this one's no different. She's oh, DJ, turn it up. But the idea is that it's supposed to be a party every morning, and so there's a DJ in the workout room with her, so then the beat of the music will be the beat of how you should be doing the exercise move. If you haven't heard, Energize is coming out with a fruit punch flavor, being released next month. I cannot wait, although I realized yesterday at Super Saturday that I can't call it Liquid Gold since it's not gold anymore. So I've got to come up with a new fun name. So if anybody has ideas, definitely let me know. There's a new corporate training on the Success Club system. It is in the the Beachbody Champions page. So I actually saw a couple of them today and I watched them and they're really good. I tagged a couple people in them. So if you're fishing around on the Beachbody Champions page, you will see that. Team Cup is in February. I encourage you all to go out and learn about Team Cup. Right now, I'm figuring out my team. I think Mackenzie and I are going to be the Star, Diamond, and Diamond coaches because you can only have 2. So then now we're figuring out the other 3. But Team Cup is incredible for motivation and accountability, and it's teams of 5. So if you have some girls like that on our team or on Danielle's team, definitely start messaging them. But in the next couple of weeks, we will start some like chat threads and say, okay, we have a team of 4. We're looking for 1 more person. And then we can all just start creating our own teams. Leadership ladder. If you haven't heard anything about that, it's the very new kind of way to include leadership into the road to elite. So there are tons of trainings on that on the Beachbody Champions page, as well as in our office. Whew. And the last thing is the Success Club trip. So if you don't know anything about the Success Club trip, every single year, Beachbody invites coaches, successful coaches, onto a trip. You can like apply and you can earn this trip in different ways. And if you end up getting invited onto the trip, every Success Club point that you earn turns into trip dollars. And so you could get your entire trip paid for. Danielle has gone on the last 2 or 3. Actually, I think it's 3. This year it's a cruise. So we're already looking ahead into 2020. I told John when I got home last night that we are going on this trip. It is a non-negotiable. It is happening. I set an alert in my phone because tomorrow on the 14th, it will go live to like register to get your name on the invite list. So if you're intrigued to do that, I would definitely set your alarm. It's at noon my time, 9 a.m. Pacific. There's a website for it. Go and look, put it on your vision board. Like, let's actually freaking go. It looks absolutely amazing. All right. So our first speaker at Super Saturday was Janelle Summers. And little did we know, we all got a surprise. She is Shailene Johnson's sister. So if you know Shailene through like PiYo or Shailene Extreme, like this is her sister. And she's like one of like the OG coaches. So her presentation was all on how to connect with more people and start conversations and actually be interested. So just the idea that having more inbox messages are a must. And if you don't have more one-on-one conversations, your business is going to struggle. And I mean, that's what you've heard from me, from other trainings, like you've got to be starting conversations. One, I loved how she put it. She said, don't be interesting, be interested. So really don't turn everything and make it about you and how interesting this is and relating it all back to yourself. Be interested in who you're talking to and then what they need. Because the more that you can hear what they need, then you can start speaking to how you can help them. I think sometimes our phrasing and our wording can be the opposite. Well, I have all of these things to help you before you even are interested in them. So definitely kind of think about how you're approaching things. So again, phrasing is key in your messaging. And she gave the example that instead of like promoting like, oh, like lose 10 pounds and inches and blah, 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 and get healthy and whatever, they changed their messaging to fit into your skinny jeans again. And it blew up. So just by changing your phrasing and talking about what people need, like we all know that, you know, people need a healthy lifestyle. They need, you know, X, Y, and Z for all of, for to have so much success with their transformation, but they're not coaches. They don't have the mindset that we have. For them, it's that emotional piece, fit into your skinny jeans again. So start playing with like some fun phrasing. Think about, you know, what you might've wanted to hear when you got started. And then on your posts, if anybody ever comments on your post, send them a comment back. Try to make it more than just emojis. You can see I'm always commenting back on people, like, and we can do this with each other because it does help your Instagram algorithm. But then she says, if they comment on one of your posts or your pictures, ultimate goal is to then take it into their inbox, into their direct messages. And then she gave this super cool tip. And so it's whenever you do a poll on your Instagram story, it doesn't have to be about Beachbody health, wellness, or groups. It could be a poll about which dress you should wear or what movie you should watch tonight. Like whatever kind of lifestyle poll that you're going to do, use a popular hashtag with that poll. So as you may or may not know, you should not use super popular hashtags on your pictures. Your hashtags that you should use on your pictures on Instagram should only have between 10,000 and 100,000 like tags. You shouldn't go over that. So on your Instagram stories, when you do a poll, do a popular hashtag that has over 100,000. She said the goal would be to find a hashtag that has like 1 million. So I tested this today. So I did a ton of polls on, mine was about health and wellness. And I put a poll or a hashtag, The Bachelor, hashtag The Bachelor. Everybody freaking loves The Bachelor. I mean, I don't watch it at all, but most of the world loves The Bachelor. So then I made the font color the same as the background. I made it super small and I like moved it off the page. And right now I have so many more views. So right now 56 viewers from The Bachelor story viewed that poll that I did. So it's just a way. Another one that I did was hashtag Girl Squad. So whoever's on the hashtag Girl Squad and they're watching the stories, they saw mine. Like I'm seeing a couple people that I haven't seen in a while voting on my poll. So just kind of a new way to use hashtags within your stories that I thought was very unique. All right, then the next person that we heard was Meg Kozlowski, and she was talking about how to get in the routine of daily one-on-one invites. And we talk about how important inviting is every single day, but I feel like a lot of our team has been focused on getting, 40, 50, 60 invites out a day. And she said that when she started, she set her goal as 5, and now she's about up to 15, and she's a top coach. So she said, be realistic about the number of invites that you can do daily. Eat that frog. If invites is the part that freaks you out the most, do it first. That's the idea behind Eat Your Frog. It's a book. If you want to read it, read it. Get a success partner. The idea behind a success partner would be, checking in at the end of every day and saying, I did my 15 invites. How did yours go? Or, going to your success partner and saying, what would you say here? Is now the right time to invite? What are you saying to invite? Pick a day to start and get hyped up. So she said, start on Monday. Start Monday, get super pumped about it and set a timer and talk positive affirmations to yourself right before you invite. I am an amazing leader. I can do this. Inviting is not scary. Anything that you need to tell yourself, even if it's not inviting, switch it to whatever is your frog. Don't overthink the wording. She even will read hers out loud to her husband or send them to her husband in a text. Again, this could be really great for when a success partner comes into play. She did a national wake-up call on how she invites. It's called the PB&J invite, and it's from September 2018. So I plan on doing this week, going back and listening to that call either on the podcast within the Beachbody Champions page, or it might even be on YouTube. So 3 options to go listen to her PB&J invite. Always follow up. So be tracking who you're inviting so then you can go and follow up. And then her last tip was to be consistent. She said she really starts to see the effects if she's consistent in inviting, her 5 to 15 people every single day. She will see that and reap the benefits within 60 to 90 days. 1 month does not show the impact that you are making. So just let that sink in. Don't be discouraged if, this is your first month going really hard with inviting consistently. And then at the end of the month, you're like, well, crap, like nothing happened. Don't stop. Stay consistent. Give it 2 months, give it 3 months. And we talk about that all the time, and it's a compound effect. That's one of my favorite personal development books, and that's the idea behind this. But you can't invite a ton one day and then take 2 days off, and then invite a ton one day and then take another 3 days off. It's that consistency. So if you can't do 60, 40, 50 invites a day, do 5 a day for a couple weeks. And then from there, start going up and saying, okay, I'm going to do 8 a day. And also I put their pictures here in case you want to write down their names and go check out their stuff, because you might really like their training style and how they do things, and it could spark ideas for you. Or you might want to go on YouTube and search if they have any other trading calls. The last speaker that we heard was Kelsey Shackley. I adore her. So her and her husband work this business together. She was actually just ranked 29 in the entire company from last year. And her husband are just this ball of energy. He's hilarious. They have tons of trainings that they do together. So she taught us all about Instagram collections. I went live in our team page a couple months ago about Instagram collections, and she showed us a YouTube video, and I cannot find the YouTube video that she showed us. So I'm hoping to find that soon and then share it with all of you. But basically, Instagram collections is a way of saving pictures on Instagram. And she uses it for her coaching prospects to then start to build relationships with them. Now, you can do this a ton of different ways. You could have a collection that says coaching and a collection that says boot camps. And girls who you're talking to for boot camps, you can save their images and put them in that so that you can make sure that you are connecting with their Instagram all the time. There are a ton of YouTube videos on Instagram collections. I just really like the one that she shared because it was very Beachbody oriented for coaches. So definitely look that up. And if you have any questions, let me know. It's kind of just like another way to track, but within Instagram. And then she assigns days to connect and follow up. So how she has her collections is she does the letter of every alphabet. So like on Mondays, she will go and follow up from A to E. And any of those people in there and start reconnecting with those. How I think I'm going to do it is I'm going to do it by month. So I just today made a January collection, and I'm starting to put my dream team in there, girls who I think would be amazing on our team, so that I can make sure that I'm constantly connecting and building that relationship with them. And then I'll do a February bucket and then a March bucket as the months go on. So then I have all these pools, and my idea is that the January collection will then go into my February sneak peek. My February collection will then go into my March sneak peek. You kind of see how that domino effect goes. She said that the more conversations that you start in Instagram DMs, the better Instagram algorithm will work for you. So again, more reason to start conversations. And then it was really cute. So what she does is whenever she gets a new follower, instead of saying sending a typed out message like, hey, thanks so much for the follow, have a great day, like we all might do. Instead, she will go on Instagram story. She takes a 15-second video of her saying, hey, thanks so much for the follow. My name's Kelsey. I'm a mom of, 2 amazing little girls. I hope that you're having a wonderful Saturday. It means the world to me that you followed me. She did that live with all of us in the background, and she's like, I'm at a training event today, blah, blah, blah. Did it 15 seconds. Then she saved the video. It did not go on her Instagram story. And then what she does is she sends that video to all of her new follows that she could connect with. She goes, because I don't send them to the random weird dudes that follow me, or girls that I just don't foresee us, or another Beachbody coach. So she's selective about who she sends that video to. And she said she gets such good feedback from having a video and people seeing her face and hearing her voice. So that was really, really cool. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention is this Instagram, almost all 3 speakers talked about. So Kayla Yabanez, I don't know how you say her name, I'm probably butchering it. Apparently, and I just looked at her stuff today, she has amazing Instagram tips. And that hashtag tip that I talked about earlier about on your polls on your Instagram story came from her. So if you want to go and check her out, I can see right now, she has a whole Instagram tips collection. If you're I really need some help on Instagram, they all talked about her. So I would definitely go check this profile out for sure. Before I go on, the only thing that I have left to talk about is our coaching sneak peek. So before I do that, I'm going to turn it over to Amanda so that she can kind of share her thoughts on her Super Saturday experience.
Okay. Can you hear me, guys? Can you guys hear me? Okay. All right. So I went to the Madison, Wisconsin location. So we had one speaker at ours, and her name was Teresa Schrader. And she's actually from Antigo, Wisconsin, which is a town of less than 8,000 people. So to have someone come and like talk that like is from such a tiny town and is doing so good in the business, it was really cool to kind of hear from another small town girl. Her husband's like a potato farmer. Like she was just really, I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing, but so she's a 5-star diamond, 3-time elite coach. And she kind of talked about how she was just jumping from like different entry-level jobs when she moved back to her small town, and she couldn't find anything that she was like satisfied with and just didn't feel fulfilled. And that's when she kind of jumped into her coaching business. And now she makes like 3 to 4 times more than she was making with her jobs that she was like unhappy with. But she did have a few like really interesting takeaways, especially related to social media and Instagram. So she shared with us, and I know Etsy has a ton of like great templates and things that you guys can use. So she said she uses this girl named Danielle Nazir. It's Nazir. And I just took a peek at the Etsy shop before I jumped on this call. And she's got like these challenge guides, like meal planner templates, like a fitness journal. Like there was like hundreds of different like pre-made like graphics and content, which I know I personally like, I'm always like, oh my God, everyone else's stuff looks so cute. Like, and I have like Photoshop and InDesign like knowledge. I use it. I used to work in a job where I use it every day, but it takes a lot of work to build something from scratch. So to be able to like purchase these packets and then just kind of have them in your arsenal and be able to use them, I thought was really cool and great to save time and not make as much work for yourself. So a lot of it looked really cool. So I definitely want to check out those more, but that's what she personally uses. And then she just buys it and saves it in her Google Drive and kind of will go back and like use the content in like her challenge groups and things like that. Then the other thing she talked about, and I was like, oh my gosh, is this a thing? She had a social media Instagram audit of her account done. So, which was really funny because I work in the financial industry and we have like state and like federal audits. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's audits in the Instagram world. So I looked that up too just before I came on the call because she did say it's costly, but you know, it is an investment. So it's probably not something like I personally being brand new would do right now, but maybe down the road when I'm more invested. But it looks like they have like 3 tiers of services that they offer, anywhere from $61 to $224 a month, but it's not like a contract. I guess you can kind of do it whenever you want to. But she got hers done, and the first time she did hers, she got a C. And she's like, was totally shocked. She's like, I thought my content was great. Like, so what they do is they look at like, they have like a few steps. They look at your bio, they read what it says, kind of let you know, like, is it unique? Is it catchy? Did you use emojis really well? And then if you have a link, she said, have a link and make sure it works. Like, make sure your clickable link, like your Linktree link, is working. So that's kind of what they look at first. And then they'll look at your actual stories and kind of see how you're using your stories. She said the best, you know, that's the best way to connect with your audience because they can actually see like who you really are. But she said to make sure you're always using text, emojis, the GIF, whatever they're called, and then the polls. The polls are like really important to use. And obviously Janine's had that same message in hers. So make sure you're using the polls. And then they do look at like your first 9 photos because that's kind of what everyone, when they come to your page, that's what they're looking at. And they're looking for cohesiveness. Are you using the same like filters? I know I personally use Lightroom for my filters, and then I just buy like the presets from Etsy for like a few bucks just because, like I said, I can do all that stuff, but it just makes my life a lot easier when I can just open up the app and do it that way. So they look at that, and then the last thing they do is they look specifically at like certain photos. And they're like, okay, they look at the picture, they look at your caption, and like for instance, she had one picture where she was sitting like on her couch or her bed with like her shake, and it was like a weird angle, and they're like, that's a weird angle, like you look funny, like that's not a good picture or something, I guess. But they were just saying, like, make sure in your captions, especially if they're really long, that you're adding like emojis and kind of breaking it up a little bit so it's not like one big blob of text and you're getting bored and don't make it to the end. And then this is something I know I personally have to work on because I'm not used to it yet, and I didn't do it like on my old personal one, is using the call to action in every single post that you do. So, and she's like, it's not just saying join my group. It could just be answering a question or dropping an emoji, just something simple, but that you really need to be engaging in every single post. And then she talked about the hashtags too. So she said, and I don't know what like the right or wrong way, but she does hers in like the first comment on her picture. She doesn't like include it in her caption. And then she said to use at least 13 and up to 30 hashtags was kind of her feedback. But let's see, what else did she kind of talk about? That was, I mean, those were kind of like my big things that I took away. I mean, she talked about like content and what to post and like making sure you know your stories and like what are your problems and like understanding your like ideal client, which I know I'm still kind of trying to figure out exactly who I'm talking to sometimes. So just being a little bit more focused on like what you're posting and like having a purpose behind it versus just kind of putting whatever out there. So, I mean, I just thought it was really great to just hear some of these. I mean, there's just so much content out there about how to manage your social media and all these tools and things. I know another app she talked about was called Over, which I'm not familiar with, but she said to do like building logos and graphics and things to like post. So I was going to check that out. I haven't checked that one out yet. But yeah, so just a couple cool, interesting social media tips and tricks that she kind of shared with us.
I love that. I love all of those things. And it's cool to hear what other people are using because like I'm very like word swag and Canva for like creating things. Like that whole presentation that I just created was on Canva.
Okay.
So it's really cool to hear like what other people are doing. The one thing that I wanted to say though about the Instagram audit on a much lower scale that I know that people have done, not necessarily with your success partner, because you and your success partner might be at the same point in your business, but somebody either within our team or Danielle's team, somebody who you kind of know and can connect with, and you admire their social media, ask them to do an audit on your social media. So if you guys know Izzy, she's our coach in the UK, crushing it. She asked, so Izzy is Mackenzie's coach. So Izzy asked Sam Homa, which you just met Sam, to do an Instagram audit on hers. You've got to be willing to take the criticism. So like, I know that within our team, Marissa, she just asked me to take a look at her social media and give her some feedback on her posts, on her stories, and things like that. So, you know, you might say, well, I don't know if I can do that yet. Like, and that's fine. But if you're like, I do kind of want some like feedback, some tips and tricks, you don't have to ask me, ask somebody else on social media, you know, who you admire, how their things look, if they can kind of go through some of your content and give some feedback. So I love that idea. It can be kind of hard and like gut wrenching to have to pay for something to do that. So that's kind of like how we can get around that on a lower scale. So Amanda, I guess like what was like your biggest like feeling with being at one of these events and like your big takeaways, not like necessarily tips and tricks, but how you felt overall?
Yeah, so honestly, on my drive there, I was like, I had no idea what to expect. I'm like, okay, I'm going to a conference thing here in Wisconsin. Like, people in Wisconsin aren't very health focused. They like beer, they like cheese. I was like, there might be 5 people here. And so I was totally shocked when I pulled into I was at like a church, when I pulled into the church parking lot and saw a ton of cars. And I was like, oh, okay, this is like legit. There's a lot of people here. So just coming in and seeing that many people, like just from the state of Wisconsin being there, I got instantly like super excited that there's all these other people out there doing this as well. But I think, you know, just overall, like we heard a lot of like success, like people in the room, their success stories. There was a mom there who had like 2 sets of twins and like shared her story, and like just kind of being able to hear how other people have like overcome a lot of really hard things in their lives. There was like a guy who had been an alcoholic, and, you know, Beachbody kind of saved his life with that. So just hearing other people's stories, like firsthand and sitting, like we sat in the front row, and like it just, there was such a good energy, and like everyone was so nice and welcoming. And I think, you know, at first I was like, I'm too new to be going to something like this, but I'm so glad that I went, and it made me like so much more inspired to like keep growing. And just, it wasn't just like the tips and tricks, it was just like the actual like atmosphere. And like I ran into actually Sam, who's on like our sister team. And I normally would never go up and like talk to, I'm like super quiet, super shy, and I was like, are you Sam? And she was like super sweet and super nice, but at first I was like afraid to go say, I normally would never like go up to someone, like introduce myself, and I did, and I'm like really glad I did, because she's awesome. So just, it was just really cool to just be surrounded by other like-minded and really awesome people. So
Ugh, I'm so happy that you went. That just like warms my heart so much. Toya, can I put you on the spot for how you felt? Because I just went through all the information, but how did you feel being at Super Saturday? I'm gonna hang on, unmute you there. Okay, you're good.
Hello. I'm gonna try not to be awkward, but hold on, baby. But yeah, Super Weekend was probably, I feel like it was the game changer, like for me personally. I'm kind of ashamed to say, so I've been a coach for 7 months. It's been 7 months now, and I've had my why. It's pretty much been the same, and you know, I know what I want, but I've been just like kind of dabbling, and I haven't really been doing the work, and it hasn't really felt real. So just going there, and like you said, being around like the like-minded people, and just like hearing everyone's stories, and just like everyone's so nice and friendly, and just like working really hard and working their butts off, and you know, and just, I don't know, it was an amazing feeling, just to be a part of that community, and just to be part of something, and just to really see it in front of my eyes, and like just right there. And like a couple of times I like kind of stood back, and I wanted to just like kind of cry a little bit, because it was an amazing thing to go to. And I can't wait for Summit. I already told my mom already. I was like, you're watching my kid, I'm going to Summit. I might bring him with me, I don't know, but no, it was really great. And just seeing the leaders talk, and it was just kind of really lit that fire underneath my butt, to work hard and to put in the work, and to strive for better, for me, but for my 4-year-old. So it was just, I'm really glad I went, and it was amazing. And I got to meet Janine and the other girls, and it was amazing. I loved it.
It was so fun. And honestly, Toya, at Summit, I tear up multiple times during Summit. And like, I don't know if they did this at yours, Amanda, but they asked like about like the weight loss, like stand up, like if you've lost, 50 pounds, 60 pounds, they went all the way up to 100 pounds, and the people like standing. And they do that at Summit, but like on a way bigger level. And then they actually had like videos of going into people's houses and their transformation, and I cry every single time. And I get chills, because it's like, this company, like, it's not like a scam. And you know that, but then like going to these live events, like then you really, really know it, because you're like, this has the power to change people's lives in the business. Yes. But then like their life, and like, like that you're on this for a good mission. So thank you both for sharing so much. I know it will be helpful for other people to hear this on the recording. Okay. So I'm about done. I'm just going to share one last thing. Okay, so just so that you guys can see this with the Instagram tagline. So I'm running another sneak peek. Oh my goodness. There we go. I'm running another sneak peek this week, a coaching sneak peek. Same Instagram hashtag or like name as I did in December. So in December, this is exactly how I ran it. It's for 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I post a question, I post a coach's transformation story, and then I post a video of a coach talking about an objection. It's going to be identical to what I did in December. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel yet. My idea is that I'm going to start building this up with more coach stories and more coach transformation. So then, 1 month I can use these 3 coaches, and the next month I can use these 3 coaches, and kind of like rotate through. So I've cleared out the group as of tonight with all the information from December. And I'm going to start posting on Wednesday. And if you are in that group, it's going to look identical. The one thing that I do want to say is never feel like you can't invite to this. I'm your coach. I'm your upline for a reason. Like, I do this for your success as well. And any feedback that you think, there should be more of or less of, like, definitely let me know. But this is something also to show you that you could do too, that you could buddy up and you could run one of these, and I will share all of the videos, all of the pictures, all of the write-ups. I have that all saved on my computer. Like, I will share it all with you. If you say, Janine, I want to try it out, I want to do it on my own, it's in an email on to you. Like, don't ever feel like you can't say that to me. I will be over the moon beyond proud of you for taking this on. So you're going to see me tonight start to promote it. I'm going to do Instagram stories. I'm going to do whatever. I'm going to be talking about it all week until I'm blue in the face. I'm also going to be direct messaging people, inviting them to follow. You should be doing the exact same thing. Whether you've been a coach for a week, a day, we just had Sarah join today, whether you've been it for a month like Bethany and Shay, because they were in our last one that we ran, you should be inviting to this. And if you're newer, say, let's do this together. Like, why the heck not? Okay. If you've been around for a couple months, be a leader. You can do this because we have so many supports and tools in place to make you a leader. And you know that I will be there every step of the way with you, guiding a new coach if you were to get a new coach onto your team. So I'm really excited for this sneak peek. I feel like coming out of a super weekend, especially if you went and you posted about it, this is the best time to host a sneak peek. Sorry if you can hear the TV in the background. John's watching the show and there's a lot of sirens going on. But because people just saw you at a conference with your team, anything that you posted about Super Weekend, now is the most amazing time to start asking for coaches, because you're like, you just saw me and like, I want to grow my team because being around like-minded women just completely was a game changer. And I need to pay this business opportunity forward. So if you don't feel comfortable starting tonight, kind of watch how I do it over the next couple days and slowly start trickling it in. So that is all I have for you. I know there's only 3 of you on right now, but does anybody have any questions about Super Weekend, summit tickets, the sneak peek, anything that we said, anything?